Welcome to the channel. Today we'll transform that unexpected cash gift into a long-term wealth engine. First, we'll map a clear plan. Next, we'll debunk the 401k direct deposit myth, then show a stealth move that still boosts your retirement. After that, we'll cover why a Roth IRA is a powerful tax shield. Finally, we'll avoid the fatal beginner mistake, craft a simple portfolio, and leave you with an action plan and quizzes to lock in what you've learned. Here's the plan for today. First, we'll zoom out and set your roadmap. Then, we'll debunk the 401k direct deposit myth. Next, we'll reveal the stealth way to use gifted cash for retirement. After that, we'll open the door to Roth IRAs. Then, we'll address the most common beginner mistake. Moving on, we'll build a simple portfolio that's easy to maintain. Finally, we'll lay out a timeline and order of operations, followed by 2 quick quizzes to make sure it sticks. Before we dive in, a quick but crucial disclaimer. This content is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or tax advice. Your situation is unique. Therefore, consult a qualified professional who can evaluate your income, tax filing status, benefits, and state-specific rules before you act on anything discussed today. Let's start with the big picture. Receiving a financial gift can be life-changing if you channel it with a simple, intentional plan. Instead of rushing into complex strategies or scattered accounts, clarify your goals, cover essentials like safety and debt, and then move toward tax-advantaged retirement vehicles. With a clean roadmap, you'll minimize mistakes and maximize long-term compounding. Here's a simple map. First, take care of safety. Ensure you have an emergency fund and address any insurance gaps. Next, prioritize high-interest debt, because every dollar you eliminate there is a risk-free return. Then, pivot to retirement. Use the 401k stealth move, and consider the Roth IRA. After that, select straightforward, diversified investments like broad market index funds or a target date fund. Finally, leave a reasonable buffer for near-term goals to avoid dipping back into investments. Now let's bust a widespread misconception. You cannot take gifted money and directly deposit it into your 401k. Workplace 401k plans accept contributions strictly via payroll deductions. This causes confusion because the goal is to get more money into your 401k, but the pathway is payroll, not a manual deposit. This flowchart shows how to use gifted cash to boost retirement even though you can't directly deposit it into a 401k. First, you receive the gift. Next, if you have a 401k, increase your payroll deferral, being mindful of the IRS annual limit and your employer match schedule. Your take-home pay drops, but you then use the gifted cash to cover your living expenses. The net effect is more money flowing into your 401k with current tax advantages. If you don't have a 401k, the decision diamond directs you toward opening and funding a Roth IRA instead. Let's turn to the Roth IRA. First, a Roth IRA grows tax-free, and withdrawals in retirement can be tax-free, which is powerful for long-term planning. Next, you can fund up to the annual limit, currently noted as $7,000 for 2025. And if you are 50 or older, check catch-up provisions. Additionally, you are not required to use your 401k's provider for your IRA. Compare low-cost custodians for better features and fees. Furthermore, note that Roth contributions are typically accessible without tax or penalty, but earnings withdrawals follow specific rules like the 5-year clock and qualified distribution criteria. Finally, verify your eligibility and income limits before contributing. Here's a practical comparison. The Roth IRA uses after-tax dollars and offers tax-free growth and withdrawals in retirement, plus flexibility to access contributions if needed. You can choose any low-cost provider and build a diversified portfolio. However, its annual contribution limit is generally lower than a 401k. By contrast, a 401k is employer-sponsored, may include a match, and has higher contribution limits, but contributions flow only through payroll and your investment menu is restricted by the plan. Together, they can complement each other in a long-term strategy. Quiz time. Question: true or false? You can directly deposit gifted cash into your workplace 401k. Option A, true. Option B, false. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is false. Workplace 401k plans accept contributions through payroll deductions only. To leverage gifted cash, Increase your 401k salary deferral while using the gifted funds to cover your living expenses. Here's a common trap. Opening a brokerage or IRA and depositing cash is not the same as investing. The cash will sit idle and lose purchasing power to inflation. Instead, you must actively select investments. A straightforward approach is a single, low-cost, broad market index fund, such as an S&P 500 tracker, or a one-fund target date fund that automatically adjusts risk over time. Automate contributions, reinvest dividends, and keep fees low because costs compound against your returns, just like returns compound for you. Let's translate this into action. First, open a Roth IRA at a low-cost provider. Second, fund it up to the annual limit if eligible. Third, keep it simple by choosing one core holding, either a broad market index fund or a target date fund aligned with your retirement year. Fourth, enable automatic investments and dividend reinvestment so the plan runs even when you're busy. Fifth, review your portfolio periodically, perhaps semi-annually, and avoid frequent tinkering. Finally, if you also have a 401k, apply the stealth move by increasing payroll deferrals while using the gifted cash to support your living expenses. This timeline organizes your year. In the first quarter, confirm or build your emergency fund, increase your 401k deferral if available, and open your Roth IRA. In the second quarter, fund the Roth IRA either as a lump sum or via dollar cost averaging, and verify you're pacing toward your employer match. In the third quarter, conduct a mid-year review of fees, allocation, and contribution progress. In the fourth quarter, top up contributions if you have room, and set next year's deferral rate. Finally, remember you may have until tax day of the following year to complete your prior year Roth IRA contribution, if eligible. Use this order of operations to prioritize. First, build a 3 to 6 month emergency fund for stability. Second, attack high-interest debt since eliminating that interest is a risk-free return. Third, contribute to your 401k at least enough to capture the full employer match. Fourth, fund your Roth IRA up to the annual limit if eligible. Fifth, return to your 401k and contribute more toward the IRS limit. Sixth, use a taxable brokerage for any additional investing goals. Seventh, automate as much as possible to maintain consistency and reduce behavioral errors. Second quiz. After opening a Roth IRA and depositing your gifted cash, what is the crucial next step? Option A, do nothing and let cash sit. Option B, select and buy investments. Option C, withdraw the money for safety. Option D, transfer it directly into your 401k. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is to select and buy investments. Depositing cash into the account is only the first step. You must purchase actual investments, such as a broad index fund or a target date fund, to put that money to work. These are the core lessons. First, you cannot directly deposit gifted cash into a 401k. Use the stealth move to increase payroll deferrals and cover living costs with the gift. Second, a Roth IRA can deliver tax-free growth. Fund it up to your eligible annual limit. Third, remember that depositing cash is not investing. You need to buy investments. Fourth, simplicity is a strength. Choose a low-cost index fund or a target date fund. Fifth, automate what you can and review periodically to maintain momentum. To recap, start by securing your safety net, then address high-interest debt, and move to retirement. Use the stealth 401k move because you cannot directly deposit gifted money into a 401k. Open and fund a Roth IRA if eligible, aiming for the annual limit noted. Crucially, invest the cash by selecting a low-cost index fund or a target date fund. Finally, automate contributions and reviews to benefit from long-term compounding. Thanks for watching. If you found this guide valuable, help others find it by liking, sharing, and subscribing. In the comments, tell us how you plan to put a gifted dollar to work, or share your best stealth move. See you in the next video.